Hi, Scorpio. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Here we are, Scorpio, for the next 2 weeks. Um, Spent some time meditating on what it is that we're all looking for. And, you know, this is like clarity right now. That this is a desire for clarity because I saw like I don't think it was like it was a pool of like murky, it was almost like a muddy, like a caramel muddy color, and I saw the hand that would go in it, trying to, grasp what was murky and muddy. And what was really interesting, Scorpio, it seems like that I thought at first, it's like, well, maybe I'm not going to get a clear because if when I do the singing bowl to clear the area, it's it's quiet when the message is going to be hard for us to kind of assimilate. This was a very loud, clear singing bowl, really blasted through quite loud. And I think the thing was, though, this hand, when it came out of the water, when it dipped in and when it pulled out, the hand did not look like it had anything on it. It didn't look shiny. It didn't look like it had a film. So it feels like even though things might appear murky, there's like this deep-seated knowing, and it's almost like there's going to be a great deal of clarity coming through the next couple of weeks. Most of the readings have been about relationships. I don't feel that that's any different for Scorpio. What's going to clearly come into play is having that level of discernment to navigate the next 2 weeks with relationships, whatever that relationship is for you, work, family, friends, whatever it is. That's how, okay. So there's a call to have a grounding and do some, not necessarily shadow work, but an examination of intrinsic biases. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Intrinsic bias. Intrinsic bias is basically you're not even aware of them. So some of the things, and maybe that way is going to come very, very clear to us, Scorpio, in that we're going to get the clarity. Others are going to have to help us because this is an intrinsic challenge. Don't second guess it. Ouch. It's going to be uncomfortable and it's going to take some time. It might even take longer than the 2 weeks if you fight back. If you fight this, it's going to cause some discomfort. Emotionally, doesn't have to be. When we push back on spirit, when we push back on what's the greater, holy crow. Yep, there's the pushback. There's the pushback. We're going to have to kind of watch our words, watch what we're thinking about. Wow. Very strong, very, 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 very strong message for Scorpio. Oh my God. So this is when we do address those things, that Six of Swords says we be moving on, man. We see what's going on, but don't turn your back on the work that needs to be done because when you land on that other shore, it's going to be waiting for you. All right. So for Scorpio, next 2 weeks, predominantly about relationships, clarity, discernment, and intrinsic biases. What can we do to help? And going to be most beneficial for Scorpio, asking for clarity from the original source, the original word, the original thought, that created all that is. What can we see? What can you help us see? What can you help us to help others from the top? Okay. So I'm going to try and do this. It's going to be kind of your energy, a clarifier for your energy. What's that outcome? We're gonna first look at the past. We're gonna look at the past because we already know the outcome. So what was our energy of the past? Kind of clarify that energy of the past. What was the outcome of that energy? Then we'll look at the now, same flow, but that we're going to look at our energy the clarifier of that energy, and then what's the outcome that we're going through right now? What is that outcome? What is the status? And then we're going to look at the highest possible, most beneficial. If we do, there is going to be a range of where it's going to fit within your life and apply it to whatever it is that you're looking for. So that looks kind of got like a mark on my card. Not cool. Maybe that's got something to do with the Four of Swords. So, oh boy, that's kind of a harsh way to put it. All right, when you have an animal that is injured, this is Four of Swords. When you have an animal that's injured, what do? They're typically going to lick their wounds. And whether it's a battle or something that just got injured, it doesn't even have to be like an outward. If they had a joint that got hurt, they're going to lick that joint. And if you have a pet that sometimes they'll lick it to the point where it's raw and it causes a surface problem, even though it's something inside. And maybe that's what's going on here, is that we may have been spending too much time, Scorpio, in ruminating over the things of the past. It was very difficult for us to do that in the past. Let's get some clarification as to what this is in regards to, if it's something that's literally physical, or is it something involved in like relationships? That's definitely, it's like, it's something to do with our heart, but not the physical heart. This is our emotional status. And maybe that's why there's been some stagnancy, because it is the Knight of Cups. And that Knight, and I'm seeing that a lot of this has been happening when it's like the wee hours of the morning. Maybe we're not getting a good rest. So that's kind of the clarifier for this. This is the past. And when we look at the past, sometimes we pull this into the current. So this had seemingly gone on. It wasn't really a battle. This is after the battle, what you're thinking about in the past. This is after the fact. And it's through this King of Pentacles. This occurred for the outcome to be that Scorpio needed to be a little more grounded, out of your head and into the earthing, reconnecting to self. There was rumination here about something that maybe you felt that you were hurt by something or someone. It feels like a someone, right? We're feeling pretty high. We're pretty well put together. This was something that was really difficult. Now we are the High Priestess. Scorpio, we are the High Priestess, and we are that being who is able to have full control and capacity over the things that we've learned. It may come back to haunt us sometimes because, you can forgive, but you'll never forget. Once it's there, it's there. Yeah, this was a confidence building exercise. And because that's the Queen of Swords, it was confidence building and clarity. I know in the traditional card, that Queen, she's sitting solidly, but she has clarity. It doesn't mean everything's been cleared away. You can see a lot of clouds, and it is like dawn. It feels like this is dawn, but there's still the night out. All of these seem to have the night sky. And maybe that's the whole deck. I don't know. But the outcome of this was an enlightenment, a period. This was a period of enlightenment. It was very difficult for us, and this is where we are now. So with regards to what has affected you, that caused you to go through this rumination, where is it that we are going with this? How is this going to benefit us as Scorpio? And if we are benefiting ourselves, that means it's something that will be in a multifaceted aspect out into the world. Oh dear. well, I'm going to really need a clarifier on this because typically the five of coins is that, well, for me, it's like a woe is me. And maybe this is a blessing in disguise. And we need to release some of that, some of this, some of this rumination. Let's get this clarifier here. Oh my gosh, look at swords here, ruminating. We're thinking about these emotions. Guess what? We've gone from the Knight of Cups to the Queen of Cups. So it's starting to feel like that there was something in the past, and it's something that keeps getting brought forward, brought forward, brought forward. This is where we are. This is who we are. But this is what we keep bringing forward. And it's almost like it's changing its shape a little bit because it's going from thoughts and words to this earthing connection, but feeling like you're not part of it. But you are. You are the high priestess. You are the queen of swords, and you have the enlightenment that you need. And you've gained it from these things from the past, but it's almost like, oh man, it goes back to that intrinsic bias. It's like something that you can't quite see. So for this Five of Pentacles, we might, anytime that this crops up, remember it's like a calling. This is who you are. And in the next couple of weeks, this is going to be challenged. And that intrinsic bias that we're carrying, Scorpio, is gonna need to be peeled off. Yeah. Otherwise, we are gonna stay in that stuck state. It's gonna be challenging to move on. It's definitely going to be a challenge to move on. We're going to want to stay in our shell. We're not going to want to look at these three things, these three emotions. It's like we've amplified this knight into a queen. And this is why this has gone from just thoughts and words to this now affecting our 3D world. And it's because we're not remembering who and what we are and what we've gained and what we have. We're not utilizing what we have. And I think that that's all of us. That's all of us that kind of goes through that. Let's get some clarity that there seems to be both of these decks kind of call out the water side of it because I saw that image where the hand was dipping into the water. So this is the interesting part too. I didn't see where the hand was pulling out of the murky water where it was necessarily, you couldn't see anything on the hand, but there was something there. It was something we can't see. I mean, let's face it, if you put your hand into muddy water and you feel your fingers or your hand, you're going to feel something there. So maybe that's part of the concern is that we're not able to quite see that yet. And apply this to you. This is pretty reach out for help, man. If you're struggling to develop a way of shifting your energy, reach out to those you trust, and you can and will make this happen. It's just coming to that place, using the enlightenment, knowing that you are not out in the cold, that you do have command of your emotions, and you have these opportunities. And maybe that's overwhelming. Maybe there's 4 opportunities and you don't know which of those cups is full, right? So I am in the process of setting up a solutions group. If you do want to participate, there's no cost for it at this point. If you present your challenge, and it's like a 30-minute challenge solution, if that makes sense. And it doesn't mean that solution is going to bring you immediate results. It means that what you've got, within yourself, sometimes, it's kind of like having the poppy seed in your teeth. You can't see it, but everybody else can. And that's what the solutions group is about. And it's in a private and safe place. So message in a bottle. Message in a bottle. There's a lot of water here, y'all. Water here. That's referencing water. That's water. And now here we get this. There is a message. There is a message that we aren't open to receiving. It's still bottled up within us. We could even be aware of it, but not willing to acknowledge it. Scorpio, and when we pop that effervescent bottle cork off, that's what's going to happen. There's going to be such a divine connection and release. It's going to be almost euphoric. All right. So yin is the feminine and yang is the masculine. Masculine, not referring to your sex, but it is referring to the action that you have within you. And this is what we need to do. We need to take action with that enlightenment. We need to take action. It takes action and effort to uncork that bottle, right? It does take action. It takes effort to uncork that bottle. All right, energy. This is really coming up in a lot of the readings to help with the overall energy that will help us manifest and achieve our goals, to reach our goals. And it's okay to not see the solution right away. Sometimes we need to mull over those things in our head and just get them to process. That's what that hanged man is about. It's going to feel like a miracle. So the frequency of miracle supports our belief in ourselves as a part of source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. Drink that in. We got a lot of cups here. Grab one of those cups. Get out of your shell. Grab the cup and expect miracles. 100%. Expect miracles. Let's set that aside. I'm going to need more room here. Merkaba. The frequency of Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. We need to pull from those other areas and aspects of self. Because we've accomplished this meditative state. We know how to do this. This is almost, it's like a second nature. Because when we do that, it activates our access to the Akash inheritance as well. So we can merging the totality of our experiences into our present, merging all of this into our present, all of this into the present. Future and past manifest in the now, into our present to serve our highest purpose. Boom. This is definitely healing. So the frequency of healing supports our intrinsic bias, baby. Intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information that comes to us through our senses, harmonizing everything accordingly. So harmonizing brought up the fact that, frequency, music healing, be careful what you listen to. Because not all sounds, just because you think it makes you feel good, there's something in your subconscious that goes on that might be activated that you're not going to be benefiting from. It might make you feel good in a hot second there, but let's be wary of that. So we need to tap into that true healing that we have within ourselves. And we know what's right. We know we have that little bit in the back of our brain that says, man, this makes me feel good and I feel naughty, and sometimes being naughty makes me feel good. Be careful, please and thank you. Coherence. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind, right? For an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. Happy, happy, happy. I'm moving her up. I'm moving this up a little bit because it feels like it's rising. So heart-mind coherence, and this is also going to be balanced by your intuition. Right? It's going to be balanced by the coherence is balanced. It's a trinity. It's the heart, it's the mind, and it's the gut. That's your intuition. It's that energetic force around the vagus nerve that expands out. You have a gut feeling well before you have that flutter in your heart that hits your brain, and your brain says, yikes. So that's kind of how it works. Thank you so much. That was it, Scorpio. Wow. very powerful, very, very, very powerful. So do like, share, subscribe, reach out. Um, and hope to see you on the flip side. Talk to you later. Bye.